How to survive a heart attack alone after 65 life-saving tips every senior must know. Let me ask you something very personal, something most of us would rather not think about but absolutely must face. What would you do if right now, sitting where you are, you suddenly felt a crushing pain in your chest, your arm went heavy, your breath grew shallow, and you realized you might be having a heart attack? Would you freeze in fear? Would you panic and hope it passes? Or would you know exactly what to do to give yourself the best chance of survival? My friend, after 60, this question is not a theory. It is reality. It is a possibility that could knock on our door at any moment. And the truth is, the difference between surviving and not surviving often comes down to what you know and how you act in those first few critical minutes. The heart is a loyal servant. It beats steadily for decades, through joy and sorrow, through laughter and grief, but it is not invincible. As the years pass, it grows weary. It carries the weight of stress, habits, genetics, and time itself. And sometimes, without warning, it falters. I've lost friends who ignored the whispers of their body, and I've seen others who lived to tell the tale simply because they knew what to do. And I tell you today, this knowledge is not complicated, not out of reach. It is simple, it is practical, and it could very well save your life. So I want you to listen carefully, as though your very breath depends on it, because one day it might. This is not meant to scare you, but to equip you. Because fear without wisdom is paralyzing, but wisdom without fear is power. Together, we will walk through what every senior must know. 5 life-saving tips that can make all the difference when you are alone, when every second counts, and when you need to be your own first responder. Your life still matters, and you are not helpless. You have more strength, more wisdom, and more control than you think. Stay with me. This could be the most important conversation of your life. Part 1. Recognizing the enemy. The silent whisper of a heart attack. The first battle we must win, my friend, is not fought with medicine or machines. It is fought with awareness. A heart attack is not always the thunderous collapse you see in movies. More often than not, it begins as a whisper, a quiet signal that something is terribly wrong. And those who survive are usually the ones who have learned to listen. When you cross 60, your body speaks differently than it did at 30. The signs of a heart attack may not come as the dramatic clutching of the chest. Sometimes it feels like a heavy pressure in the center of your chest, as though a stone has been placed on your heart. Other times it creeps into your shoulder, down your arm, into your back, or even up into your jaw. Some feel it as a burning in the stomach, mistaking it for simple indigestion. And then there are those moments when it is not pain at all, but a sudden shortness of breath, a cold sweat, dizziness, or even nausea. Here is the danger. Too many of us shrug these signs off. I just ate too much, we say. I'll rest and it will pass. But while we dismiss the warning, the heart is struggling, starving for oxygen, minute by minute. Those lost minutes can mean the difference between recovery and tragedy. I remember a neighbor of mine, Harold. One evening, he complained of a tightness in his chest while mowing the lawn. He said it was probably heartburn and decided to wait it out. By the time his wife found him collapsed near the garden, it was too late. On the other hand, I think of my cousin Eleanor. She felt an odd pressure in her jaw while knitting and decided not to ignore it. She called her daughter, who rushed her to the hospital. The doctors told her she had been in the early stages of a massive heart attack. Her quick action saved her life. So what is the wisdom here? It is simple but crucial. Pay attention. Listen to your body. Don't excuse away unusual pain, pressure, or shortness of breath. If it feels wrong, take it seriously. The body is like an old friend who still whispers when something is wrong. But it is up to you to listen. A heart attack rarely comes without some sign. If you learn to recognize it, you have already taken the first step toward survival. Part 2. First response. What to do in the first 60 seconds. Now, Let's imagine the worst. You are home alone, perhaps reading a book, perhaps resting after dinner. Suddenly, your chest grows tight, your breath shortens, maybe a wave of dizziness sweeps over you. In that moment, panic wants to take control. But listen carefully. What you do in the first 60 seconds could determine whether you see tomorrow. The very first step is clear. Call for help. Do not wait. Do not second guess. Pick up the phone and dial emergency services immediately. Even if you are unsure, even if the pain seems mild, make the call. Trained paramedics can do for you what you cannot do for yourself. Hesitation has stolen too many lives. Keep your phone near you at all times. Program your local emergency number into speed dial. The second step, sit down, stay calm, and do not try to walk around. Some people in their confusion decide to walk it off or move about. But every step strains the heart further. Sit quietly, preferably near the front door so rescuers can reach you quickly. The third step, if your doctor has ever advised it is safe for you, chew an aspirin immediately. Don't swallow it whole, chew it. This allows it to enter your bloodstream faster, thinning the blood and helping oxygen reach your heart. It's one of the simplest and most powerful actions you can take in those early moments. Yes, the fourth step, control your breathing. Fear makes us breathe fast and shallow, which only increases the burden on the heart. Instead, slow down. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Steady your rhythm. Calmness is not a luxury. It is a lifeline. And here is something many people don't know. Cough CPR. If you feel faint, your vision dimming, or your heart fluttering out of rhythm, take a deep breath and cough firmly from your diaphragm every 2 seconds. It acts like a manual pump, forcing blood to circulate until professional help arrives. It may not save everyone, but it has saved lives, and when you are alone, every tool matters. I know what you might be thinking. Will I remember all this when fear floods my mind? That is why we talk about it now, before the storm. Just as a sailor learns the safety drill before leaving the harbor, so must we rehearse these steps before the emergency comes. When your heart is in trouble, your memory will reach back to this wisdom, so let it settle deeply in your mind. Call for help, sit and stay calm, chew aspirin if advised, breathe slowly, and if needed, cough deeply. Those few actions done quickly can buy you the time you need until help arrives. Because in those first 60 seconds, you are not powerless, you are not helpless, you are in command, and that command could save your life. Part 3. Building the lifeline. Preparing your home and heart for survival. My friend, survival is not only about what you do in the moment of crisis. It is about what you do long before the crisis ever comes. A soldier doesn't wait until the battle begins to sharpen his sword. A wise sailor doesn't wait for the storm to gather before checking the lifeboat. In the same way, if you are over 60, your home and your habits must be arranged with survival in mind. Let's begin with the practical. Keep your phone within reach at all times. Too many seniors leave their phone charging in the kitchen while they rest in the bedroom. Imagine how impossible it would be to reach it if your chest was in pain. Place it by your side, on the nightstand, on the arm of your favorite chair, in your pocket. Technology is only useful when it is close enough to save you. Next, make your home an ally, not a barrier. Post your emergency numbers where they are visible, on the refrigerator, by the phone, on a note near your bedside. Share a spare key with a trusted neighbor or family member so they can reach you quickly if you cannot open the door. Keep a small supply of aspirin within easy reach in multiple places, by the bed, in the living room, in your purse or pocket. And here is something most of us never think about. Keep a list of your medications, allergies, and your doctor's contact information in an easy-to-find spot. Paramedics work against the clock, and if you cannot speak, that paper can speak for you. Better yet, wear a medical alert bracelet if you have heart disease, diabetes, or other serious conditions. In moments when your words may fail, your preparation will shout on your behalf. But preparation goes beyond the walls of your home. It must also reach into the habits of your daily life. Your heart is like a garden. If you tend it daily, it will flourish. If you neglect it, weeds will choke it. Gentle exercise, like walking, stretching, or even gardening, keeps the heart strong. Nutritious food, rich in vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, gives the heart the fuel it needs. Stress management, through prayer, meditation, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of tea, keeps the storms of life from overwhelming the vessel. I knew an old farmer named Samuel. He lived into his 90s with a strong heart, not because he had perfect genes, but because he tended his body like he tended his land, with patience, discipline, and respect. He walked every day, ate from his own garden, and kept laughter in his home. When his time finally came, it was gentle, not sudden, and he left behind a testimony that preparation matters. The truth is, you cannot always prevent a heart attack, but you can give yourself every possible advantage. By preparing your home and strengthening your heart, you build a lifeline, a rope that can pull you back when the waters rise. And when that day comes, you'll be ready. Part 4. Mental strength. Overcoming panic and fear in the darkest hour. Now let us talk about an enemy that is invisible, but just as deadly as the heart attack itself. Fear. Fear is a thief. It robs you of calm, it robs you of clarity, and it robs you of the very strength you need to survive. In the moment of crisis, panic can cause people to freeze, to forget what they know, or to make dangerous mistakes. But here is the truth. You are stronger than your fear. You have lived long enough to know what storms feel like. You have endured hardships, buried loved ones, faced disappointments, and survived nights you thought you wouldn't see the end of. That history is proof. You are no stranger to courage. When a heart attack strikes, the most important thing you can do, aside from calling for help, is to calm your mind. Speak to yourself with authority. Say it out loud if you must. I know what this is. I know what to do. I will stay calm. Words have power. They do not only shape the ears that hear them, they shape the heart that speaks them. I once visited a widow named Clara who had survived 3 separate heart attacks, all alone in her small house. I asked her how she managed to stay alive. She smiled and said, "I talked myself through it. I told myself not to panic. I prayed and I reminded myself step by step what to do. My body wanted to give up, but my spirit told it to keep going." That kind of mental strength is not given in the moment. It is practiced long before. How do you build it? By practicing calm in your daily life. Spend time in quietness. Breathe deeply when you feel stressed. Pray or meditate regularly. Learn to slow your racing thoughts, even in small daily frustrations. Then, when the true storm comes, your mind will know what to do. Fear may knock at the door in that darkest hour, but you do not have to let it in. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of it. And when your heart is in crisis, that decision could buy you the time you need until help arrives. So remember this. When the moment of trial comes, your mind is either your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. Train it now. Speak strength into it, and it will stand firm when fear tries to pull you under. Your body may be vulnerable, but your spirit is mighty. And sometimes it is that inner might that carries you through the longest minute of your life. Part 5. Living prepared. Turning knowledge into daily wisdom. Now, my dear friend, we arrive at the final piece of this puzzle. We've talked about recognizing the signs, acting in the first minute, preparing your home, and mastering fear. But none of it will hold together unless you live every day with a mindset of preparation. Survival is not only about reacting to the unexpected, it is about choosing every single day to treat your life as something worth protecting. Start with your health. Do not take your doctor's advice lightly. Know your numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar. These numbers are like the gauges on a car dashboard. Ignore them too long, and the engine will fail. Take your medications faithfully. They are not suggestions, they are lifelines designed to steady your heart. Too many people skip pills, thinking they are fine, only to pay a heavy price later. Movement is another piece of the daily preparation. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting weights like you're 20 again. I'm talking about simple, steady movement. Walking around the block, stretching your legs, tending the garden, even dancing in the living room to your favorite song. Every beat of activity strengthens the heart, like exercise strengthens a muscle. The body was made to move, and when it moves, life flows through it. And don't forget food. Food is medicine, or it is poison, depending on what you choose. Fill your plate with colorful vegetables, fresh fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains. Cut back on processed foods, sugar, and heavy fried meals. Think of food as fuel for your heart. Would you pour dirty oil into the engine of a classic car? Of course not. Then why pour harmful food into the heart that keeps you alive? But beyond the physical, there is the emotional. Loneliness is as dangerous as high cholesterol. Isolation eats away at the heart, not only figuratively but literally. Stay connected. Call a friend. Share a meal with family. Join a group, a church, a club, or even an online community. Your heart is not just a muscle, it is a vessel of love, and it beats stronger when it is connected to others. Finally, keep learning. Keep reading about health, about life, about strength. Knowledge doesn't just fill the mind, it empowers the body. The more you know, the calmer you'll be in the moment of trial. You will not face it as a victim, but as someone prepared. To live prepared is to live with peace. It is to walk through each day, not with dread, but with quiet confidence. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control your choices. And those choices can keep you here longer, with the people who need you, with the stories still left to tell. Conclusion. Your life is worth every heartbeat. So, my friend, we've walked this road together. We've looked closely at the enemy and learned to recognize its whisper. We've studied the first vital steps when seconds matter most. We've built a lifeline in our homes, strengthened our daily habits, and armed our minds against fear. And we've seen how a life of daily preparation is the strongest shield of all. I want you to carry this truth deep in your heart. You are not helpless. You are not at the mercy of chance. You have tools, you have wisdom, and you have the power to act. The difference between tragedy and triumph is often just a choice to listen, a choice to prepare, a choice to remain calm, a choice to live wisely. Do not underestimate the value of your life. The world still needs your laughter, your stories, your prayers, your guidance. You are not finished yet. The gray in your hair is not a sign of weakness. It is a crown of wisdom earned by years of surviving storms. And this storm, too, the threat of a heart attack, can be faced with courage, with readiness, and with hope. If ever the moment comes when your chest tightens and fear whispers in your ear, remember these words. You know what to do. Call for help. Sit down. Chew the aspirin if safe. Breathe slowly. Cough if you must. Calm your mind. And hold on until help arrives. These steps may sound small, but they are mighty. They can keep you alive when seconds are cruel and every heartbeat is a battle. But don't stop there. Live every day as if you are preparing not for death, but for more life. Walk a little more. Eat a little better. Laugh a little louder. Love a little deeper. Because survival is not just about escaping death, it is about cherishing the gift of life while it is in your hands. So I leave you with this blessing. May you walk into the days ahead, not with fear, but with wisdom. May you be ready, not anxious. And may you remember always, your life is precious, your heart is strong, and every beat is worth protecting.